Hello there, welcome to another talk. I did upload a talk on YouTube, or well, I was trying to, but it didn't happen. So not meant to be. So sorry for people that have been looking on the website and wanting another talk. I'll try to do this 10 minutes and under. We've not really got the best internet here, and I'm not going to get 5G. But yeah, this talk is called Your Reality is a Mirror, Why You Must Let Them Go, the Bliss Body and Nirvana. Now, yes, your reality is a mirror. I had an unexpected spiritual awakening just under 10 years ago. I was 24, I'm 34 this year. And everything became a mirror. Now, the later I discovered this is called shadow work. But then I went through this path of healing, and it became, everything started to become, you start to realize that what you perceive in others is what you are, and you're doing a lot of letting go, and ultimately this is what elevates you. You've got different you've got different parts, different levels of your being. And the bliss body and nirvana are part of them. Now, when I first had my spiritual awakening, I went nuts. I believe I suffered a mental nervous breakdown. And in that, it started in my feet, and I just took them and I just would bend them and I sprained both of them. Just was going nuts. And I believe this was a nervous breakdown, but I believe that when you go through the awakening, the energy started at the bottom, at the feet. And I felt all this frustration around the feet area, and I was bending them. And then over the years, over just under 10 years, it moved up different parts. And what's actually happening is, I've looked this up on the internet, and it's very common. And this is what happens as the energy is moving up you, and then you start feeling it in your neck, because the tensions, as the chakras are moving up the body, the energy, the tension that is subconscious has to be healed. So basically, you're not just healing from this life, you're healing from all your lives on this planet and all the things that you need to heal from. And so that is then transitioning into the bliss body. Now, the bliss body, to get there, it all starts by, as the title, the start of this title, your reality is a mirror. So it starts by realizing that what you perceive in others is what you are, is what is to do with how you're feeling within yourself. That's why I don't take it personally when someone is rude to me on the internet or in life, because that is something to do with them. That's to do with how they feel about themselves. And some people get headaches later on in their ascension paths, until what happens is the energy reaches above the head into the crown chakra, which is your connection to up there, which you can call it space, or you can call it heaven, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to get into your beliefs. And what's happened on this path is you're letting go of problems, and then what happens is you let them go. When I say them, I mean people that you might be holding on to. It could be family members, could be an ex-lover, it could be situations with people, and you're letting go because you went through this healing process. You realize now that you need to leave people be, because they can't heal whilst you're doing that. What we think when the ego self, and before we're healing, we think that we can save people. People that are a nightmare, that have got problems. This comes from, psychiatrists would tell you, comes from borderline personality disorder and also narcissism. But the two are related, and the two are one. And so you can't save these people. You've got to leave these people be. You've got to be gentle with yourself and others, but you've also got to be hard at certain moments. And this is the path to the bliss body and nirvana. What is nirvana? Nirvana is, if you look on the internet, Buddhists talk about it, and it's just a state that you enter on the ascension path. And we're always in that state. When we're unconscious and we're doing things that make us feel good, we end up being in that state. It's not a place, it's a state of being. And it's all to do with ascension. And yeah, and this is, like I say, and this is all stuff that I've went through in this path. All began from an unexpected spiritual awakening, sat down, had enough, and then the path started. And it is a path of letting go, but it's a path, when we're letting people go, it's not just a case of letting people go, we're letting parts of ourselves go. That's what's actually happened when we're letting people go. That's why it can be so difficult, because you're holding on to parts of yourself that you're scared to let go of. It's a bit like when I was a child, when I was very young, I remember I was terrified to put my head back in the bath. I remember my grandmother on my mum's side I had to trust her. And that's the kind of what you've got to do on this path. You've got to trust the divine and trust Gaia. She's not going to hurt you. And you've just got to surrender to her. And you do that by being heart-based in everything that you're doing. Trying to be present in everything that you're doing. Trying to stay true to your heart, basically, because the heart is the connection to your soul. You know, when people go from one relationship to another, you get women that do this, men as well. It's worse if it's a woman with kids, because that the kids are seeing that. And the reason people do this is because they're very unhappy. But if you do this, if you keep doing this, you're disconnecting yourself from your soul. What you're meant to be doing, you're only meant to have sex for love. That's the only time you're meant to have sex, is when it is for love. You know, and that's it. But people don't do this, and that's why sex is demonized, because it's not done for love. It's not done for that purpose. We've got a bunch of unhappy people just having sex to try and escape their own issues, and it doesn't really work. You know, so it's all about getting back to your heart, staying true to what you feel, your intuition, your inner guidance. That's all spiritual awakening is. That's all it is. You know, it's all about returning to that divine feminine that's within you, and men have it as well. And then that's like aligning your divine masculine with the divine feminine as well. And that's ultimately how you get perfect alignment with Source. Remember, Source, that's all Source is. It's just the perfect harmony between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And so in this awakening process, the Great Awakening, we're actually returning to this, and people have come into the planet specifically to have these awakenings and to then be an example towards other people. And so then everyone else does that. And that's really what the system is trying to stop. But you can't stop it, because this planet, everything comes from Source, comes from God. God is just the source of all life. There is no separate God. You are your own inner God. And doing this and living your life by this is how you return to Source, you know, and then you know, people, I was saying earlier about going from one relationship to the other. When you are serving yourself and you're in love within yourself, and you get two people like that, there's no neediness involved. So the love then is on a completely higher, more divine level. When there's no neediness, you see, when you know. So how we do that is it's all about getting back to our hearts, serve our hearts, go within. Look at all as a mirror, understand that it's just a mirror, all is one, all is a mirror of the same thing, and use that to heal yourself. This is called shadow work. I was doing it before I even knew it was called shadow work, but that's what it's called in psychological circles. And I'm just going to leave it there, because the last talk I done didn't upload, so I want to do a shorter one this time. Maybe try doing under 10 minutes from now on. Well, I'm just going to leave it there. For latest talks and updates and research, please do visit my website at www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.